Hey guys, Toaster here, and welcome to Toaster Tips. This is a new series that I'm starting up to help onboard pilots to Iron Rebellion. Today we're going to be going over some quick tips and tricks for piloting that I've picked up since.
Oh god, that's a little dude with a shotgun. Please, Toaster Boy, protect me. Protect me, Toaster Boy.
Oh, he fell into lava. Oh no. I'm going to fall into lava with him. Oh no, I can't get out.
He's smoking. He's low.
Shot.
Got him.
A little infiltrator running around.
He's dead.
Thank you.
Establish your good shot with those.
Got your danger.
I'm fucking mad. I'm like, man.
Got
I
your
did
danger.
something close enough. Way to have his back, Toaster.
Dusted them.
Alright.
They're toasted. Alright guys, I am here in the cockpit of a Breaker medium mech, which is the first mech that everybody starts with, and I'm going to be using 2 Spitfires, which is the first gun that everybody gets. Okay, so first tip and trick here, when we're starting up our mech, you're going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4. It feels great, very immersive, but it's not very quick. One of the things that I like to do when I'm trying to really get back into the field is I'd go 2-2, or I go 3-1. I've even seen people go all 4, manage to do all 4 here. I haven't quite gotten that one down myself, but if you're really trying to get back into the fight, just going 1, 2, 3, 4 like that is just too slow. We're trying to cut a couple seconds, which doesn't seem like much, but getting us back up and running as quick as we can and back out on the field can be the difference between winning or losing a skirmish. Next, we're going to talk about my controls here. So I'm going to assume that everybody's played the tutorial. That's why I'm not going through it with you guys. Adjusting our controls here, I like to sit in a gaming chair. So where my hands are right here is actually my hands resting on my armrest in my chair. And one of the things that I like to try and do is the moment I grab my controls, I like to try and let's move it over here so you can see my reticle a bit better. I like to try and get my controls or my hands or my arms situated to where when I grab my controls, my reticle is going to be as center screen as possible. Do this for a couple reasons. Reason number 1, it's comfortable for my arm to be able to rest it on my armrest, and then I just kind of pivot at my elbow, and then my arm's just kind of always in a semi-resting position, so I'm not overexerting my arm here, because a tired arm can lead to slow movements, or it can even lead to some shaking, a little bit of shaking in my aim, and if I miss a shot, it could be the difference between winning or losing a fight. So I like to try and adjust this to where the moment I grab it, I figure out a spot where the moment I grab it, I'm kind of center screen. So like right here, this is where I'm at. Another good thing that comes from that is when I'm EMP'd and I lose my reticle, I know that in my resting position of my arm, straight on my armrest, I know I'm shooting straight, and I can kind of guide from there instinctively where I'm shooting if I don't have my reticle due to an EMP. Same kind of dealio with this guy. Just try to like to adjust him to this. Just no tips or tricks. Just kind of adjust it to where it feels good and natural. I'm not pulling too close to my chest to pull it up. I'm not feeling like I'm bending over in my chair to pull it down. Just find a good medium ground where you can quickly snap, grab that, and pull it up without having to smack yourself in the chest or bend over to push it down. Another thing that I do is I actually, in the options, I think default your grip settings are set to hold. I'm not sure if what people usually prefer there, but I would suggest always keeping it on hold and just kind of getting used to that, because it just allows you to just snap, let go of the controls, and get to all the rest of the buttons and things that you need to be doing in the cockpit a lot faster than having to just push the button. I can just let go of the button and I'm just already off. Like I said, we're trying to shave off nanoseconds here, because again, in a firefight, having that extra speed can just be the difference between winning or losing. Another thing we're going to be talking about here is these crates. Again, if you've gone through the tutorial, I'm going to assume you know health, ammo. Some people don't know this, but the ammo crate is actually what gives you your mass too. I don't know if the tutorial, I'm pretty sure the tutorial goes over that, but I've seen some people ask about how you get mass. Ammo crates give you mass. One of the things you do to grab the ammo crate, well, the only thing you do to grab the ammo crate is you pull your lever here, right? So I don't like to try and gauge the distance with my eyes. We have indicators here that are better gauges for you. You hear that? It makes an audible sound when you're in range. You get this on the front of your viewport, and you also get a blinking indicator here. So I would trust that a lot more than trusting your own sight, thinking you're close enough to it, because you could definitely miss it, especially with my next tip. Don't stop and pick these things up. Don't stop and pick these things up. You're slowing yourself down. Sitting mech is a dead mech, right? So you want to be able to just run through, grab it, and go. That's why you want this to be in a good position to where it's comfortable to pick it up. You want to rely on your audio cue for the mass crate. You want to rely on your terminal cue for the mass crate. So that's why you can kind of judge where it's at without having to really use your eyes and pick it up on the go. So with the breaker, you have the breaker ability and the airstrike ability. One of the things with the breaker ability is that for about 12 seconds, it overclocks your mech. It'll be seen by, here, I'll just do it. You'll notice it you'll get some steam that's coming out of here. So that's how you know that your breaker's going on. You'll get kind of like an audible whistle going on. For 12 seconds, I'm the fastest thing in the game. You can put some augments on to kind of make that a little bit, make yourself even more fast, but you don't necessarily need them. I do like to run overdrive on my breaker for sure, and engine cooling sometimes depending on what loadout I'm running. Let's grab some more mass so we can talk about that a little bit more. So with the breaker here and with overdrive, I like to try and use my breaker wisely. Alright, so with the breaker, I'm not just fast in terms of my movement speed, I'm fast in terms of my turning speed. I have improved lift and maneuverability in the air as well. So one of the things that I like to do to maximize my movement speed and my boost with the breaker is in my boost bar over here, I like to try and hit my breaker just about when I hit the red. That way I'm maximizing as much boost and sprint speed as I can. So you'll see that here. I'm about to hit red. Boom, going into breaker mode, and then it's going to reset my boost bar, so I'm never even having to stop. I just continue to sprint. That never, as you can see, I've increased lift, maneuverability. I'm pretty much maneuvering just as well as a light mech at this point. For 12 seconds. After 12 seconds is up, I'm overclocked. But you can actually start using your boost again after that at about the halfway mark. You don't have to wait for it to go all the way down to zero, to where it's all zeroed out. About the halfway mark, you can get that boost back and get going. So it's really not that bad. So I'm going to talk to you guys about our fixer drone here. Most of you guys are going to be starting off level 1 without this guy right here, your fixer drone update. I see most people running this on their loadouts. So your lever isn't going to pop out this fast. It's going to be a lot slower. But here's something we can do to be a little bit faster even with the slow lever. first off, we'll talk about how even in safe mode, you can still move and turn a little bit, all right? So you're not just a sitting duck. You don't have to be standing still. Like I said, a sitting mech is a dead mech most of the time. But how we can be a little bit faster with this, instead of grabbing it and pulling it down, you can actually get up on top of it and typically slap that thing. You gotta get up in there and slap that thing down, and it's just a little bit faster than grabbing it and pulling it, because I can just boom. I don't do it as much as I need to. That's why I missed it that first time. But you can just slap that thing and get it going a lot quicker and save you a couple seconds. Fixer drone update is going to save you a lot of time when you're able to get that lever to pop out super fast, slap it down. You can usually pull that off mid-combat and heal a sector or two while you're fighting someone and get a little bit of an edge there. So let's talk about the Spitfires here. Alright, again, first gun you get, I think you get Spitfires and maybe the Grad 12. I'm not sure precisely if you get both of those from level 1, but you get the Spitfires. Spitfires, they shoot kind of slow. They pack a good punch, right? But they shoot a little slow. You kind of, while I'm shooting somebody, there's this time in between shots where I'm not really applying pressure to my opponent. And I've noticed that it pretty much takes me, I have extended mag. I believe you start with 8 shots on the Spitfire without extended mag. It takes you about all 8 shots to kill a medium mech, so you need the whole clip. The extended mag just gives me a little wiggle room if I miss a shot or two. But one of the things you can do is called staggering, to potentially use your Spitfires and apply constant pressure. So we're just going to switch to only one spit. It doesn't matter which one, but you're going to switch to one, pull the trigger, and then push up to group mode while holding the trigger. You never let go of the trigger, and now you see that my Spitfires are alternating with their shots. I'm not losing any damage. If I'm hitting every single shot, I'm not losing any damage, because it's the same if I'm shooting both at the same time. If I land, when I land both of those shots there, your accuracy is going to be a little bit different, because it's not pinpoint with the one shot, because you're probably going to be moving a little bit, but you're applying pressure that whole time. You're significantly reducing the amount of downtime for your shots when you do that stagger. So let's demonstrate that one more time. We switch to one side, pull the trigger, pull our thumbstick up to the group mode right after we pull the trigger. Never let go of that trigger. So I'm still holding that trigger right now, and you're just going to be alternating with your fire to create an effect where it kind of feels like you're almost automatic, way faster than the spit should be firing at least. And like I said, if you land all those shots, you're going to be applying pressure, which is going to make your opponent panic, and then you're also going to be killing them. I got this guy wanting to fight me, so let's see if I can demonstrate that now. So you land every single shot, you're going to kill him just as fast. But now I'm applying pressure. I'm hitting her in center cockpit, which does do a little bit extra damage. And I'm also creating flash within their viewport, so it's making them harder to keep track of me, especially if I was moving. Alright guys, so I've swapped to an infiltrator here with a stag. And this is going to be the build that, as a new player for me, was absolutely annoying. And I just couldn't figure out how they were doing what they were doing. And it's a technique called slamming. So with the stag and the auto loader ability, you can basically instant reload your stag as you're firing it. So you're gonna pull the trigger. You see how fast that was? I'm gonna pull the trigger and reload at the same time. So by doing that, I don't do it very good, but as you can see, I'm never losing 7. I'm pulling the trigger and I'm reloading at the same time, and I'm staying at the same exact clip amount right there. And I'm not very good at it because I don't play infiltrator, but as you can see, like, I'm never having to do it. See, I messed it up there, and then now I have to reload. Actually I ran out of ammo there now that I'm actually looking at it. But that is that's slamming, and that's why when a little infiltrator cloaker mech comes up and butt tickles you, it seems like they're shooting you like forever and never having to reload, and that's because of this technique right here called slamming. All right, I don't know if it works with any other guns, but I know it works very effectively with the Stag. As you can see, I'm never, and I don't even do it that fast. There's people that can do it way faster than I can, and it almost feels like you're getting shot with a fully automatic shotgun to the back. But as you can see, pulling the trigger, reloading, and I'm staying at 7 because the auto loader augment is what's causing me, the Stag, to be able to do that almost instantaneous reload to where I can basically run that shotgun indefinitely until I run out of ammo. Alright guys, I am now in a light recon mech with rockets, and I just wanted to briefly touch on kind of how I play around with rockets. This mech's loadout is kind of weird right now. I got gravity lift and down thrusters. I was trying to go see how like a bunny hop kind of light mech build would do. So I'm just been testing it out a little. But with rockets, I like to aim at people's feet because rockets have splash damage, and they're actually a lot harder to hit somebody with because they're slower than a bullet, especially for me who normally plays Spitfires or even pulse rails. They're slower than a bullet, so oftentimes you want to try and hit them at their feet to try and guarantee you get that splash damage off on them. If they're in the air, you're at a bit of a disadvantage because obviously it's harder to pinpoint accuracy with your rockets, and I'm using the Grad 12, which I believe is the fastest rocket in the game. I'm not 100% sure if the Cold Crackers are faster. I may be wrong. Vets can correct me on that if they watch this video, but it's just hard to try and hit somebody flying in the air with rockets. And even when you're on the ground and somebody's flying, running circles around you, it's hard to hit them with rockets. So I like to try and aim for the feet to guarantee that splash damage on them. So at least I know I'm making some kind of damage going on them. I don't know. I would assume that the damage is probably reduced if you're not making direct contact with the rocket. But again, don't quote me on that. I don't know the damage numbers per se when it comes to a direct hit from a rocket and just splash damage. It feels like I'm taking the full damage no matter what when I'm playing, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't take that as gospel. But that's just one of the things I like to do with rockets. Try to aim for the feet. It works really well with light mechs because I don't have the augments on, but light mechs can definitely fly better than any other mech. I sans breaker in breaker mode for 12 seconds at least. So like you flying up above them with your gravity lift and your jet fuel recycler and just rain down fire rockets at them, you're almost guaranteed hitting all the time. And if they're running rockets too, if it's a rocket versus rocket, you're gonna have a much harder time hitting you than you are with them. Situation like this, unless obviously if they decide to try and match you with. But a lot of times, rockets win the fight. In my opinion, I think rockets are pretty strong. And if you get really good with rockets, especially Hall Crackers, you can pretty much take down anybody and everybody. So I think that's about everything I have for you for this first video with my tips and tricks in terms of piloting. Like I said, this isn't exhaustive. There's probably tips and tricks that I haven't thought about right now, or I haven't even came across yet, because I've only been playing for a couple weeks. But I know that one of the biggest things with Iron Rebellion is that it's easy to get, hard to master kind of things. I just wanted to give you guys a couple tips and tricks I figured out to try and help you guys master being an Iron Rebellion pilot. I hope that you'll tune in for the next video, and we're going to be going over loadouts and some of the loadouts that some of the augments I've noticed that are kind of staples in most people's builds, and kind of the things that I've found really work well for me at least. And until next time, we'll see you. This has been Toaster Tips.